Hello, Professor. Hello, class. My name is Vasu Kashipara, and today I'd like to present my project for the final in ethnic studies. And the title is Asian American Exclusion, Immigration Laws, Racialization, and Resistance in the United States. Throughout American history, immigration laws have shaped who belongs in the United States and who is excluded. For Asian immigrants, especially Chinese and Filipinx communities, government policies often created barriers based on race and nationality. This presentation examines how laws like the Chinese Exclusion Act and Immigration Act of 1924 shaped Asian American identity, reinforced unequal power relations, and affected ethnic relations in the United States. Start off. This topic connects directly to themes from our course, including immigration, racialization, citizenship, and ethnic relations. My argument is that immigration laws did not simply regulate migration. They created systems of racial exclusion that affected Asian communities for generations. Here's a timeline actually of from the Page Act to the Chinese Exclusion Act onwards to the visa freeze of 2025. And this the whole chart documents the line of what Asian immigration had gone through in order to become what it has become today in the modern day. Let's start off with early Chinese and Filipinx immigration. So, Chinese immigrants arrived in large numbers during the 19th century. They usually helping building railroads and working in mining and service industries. Filipinx immigrants later increased because the Philippines became a U.S. colony after 1898. Many Filipino workers entered agriculture and labor-intensive industries. Although these communities contributed economically, they often faced discrimination and exclusion. Let's talk about the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. It was actually the first U.S. law banning immigration based on ethnicity. The Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 was the first major immigration law targeting a specific ethnic group. Chinese immigrants were blamed for economic problems and treated as outsiders. The law suspended Chinese labor immigration and prevented many immigrants from becoming citizens. According to Naomi Louie's research, legal documentation under exclusion laws deeply affected Chinese communities and family connections. In the Immigrant Act of 1924, it expanded exclusionary immigration policies. Richard Vedder and Matthew Denhart explained that the law strongly favored immigrants from Northern Europe while severely limiting immigration from other regions, including Asia. This law reflected racial ideas about who was considered desirable in America. When it comes to Filipinx American experiences, unlike Chinese immigrants, Filipinos occupied a unique position because the Philippines was under U.S. control. According to critical Filipinx American histories and their artifacts, Filipinx communities faced discrimination but also created strong cultural networks. Despite exclusion and racism, they preserved traditions and organized communities for survival. Here's a couple of pictures of the local cuisine for Filipino immigrants. Yep. And when it comes to ethnic relations and power, these policies shape relationships between ethnic groups by creating unequal access to opportunity and citizenship. Asian communities were often racialized as outsiders, which reinforced systems of inequality. However, all exclusion also encouraged resistance, solidarity, and a stronger cultural identity within Asians. So, when it comes to the modern impact, although these laws are historical, their impact on continues to this day. Questions about immigration, race, and national belonging remain important. Anti-Asian discrimination still exists, showing that the legacy of exclusion has not completely disappeared. I mean, we have seen with COVID-19 and Stop Asian Hate, and these problems still persist to this day. So, the call for action. One organization working on issues connected to this topic is Asian Americans Advancing Justice. This organization fights discrimination and advocates for immigrant communities and civil rights. People can support their work by volunteering, donating, attending events, or sharing educational resources. Visiting their website allows people to learn about campaigns, legal advocacy, and opportunities to get involved. In conclusion, Immigration laws such as the Chinese Exclusion Act and Immigration Act of 1924 shaped Asian American experiences and reinforced racial inequality in the United States. However, Asian communities resisted exclusion through cultural preservation and activism. This topic connects to our course because it shows how ethnicity, power, and identity developed through historical conflict and resistance. Here are some of the journal sources I've collected in order to study and find the information I did for this topic. Thank you.